Anybody that has heard of Beatlemania understands that there was a frenzy and this hypnotic expression that was centered around the Beatles in the 60s when they were performing live. There was an immense hysteria amongst the women in particular. And the reason for this was because, well, the men that were performing were just so craved by the women that it deterred the whole meaning of the art that was unfolding before them. And so nobody really understood what was what and who was who anymore. And they stopped performing because the hysteria was just so obnoxious and now off the charts. Well, this is exactly what it's going to be like as far as the patterns are concerned for men that are craved by women. And you have to understand that the dark side of being craved by women in general is that, and the men that are watching this, the only way that you're going to relate to this is if you've done enough self-understanding and self-aware internal reflection to the point to where you are either a spiritual magnet for women or you're simply just that dark, dangerous, and manipulative boy, because there's men and then there's boys. And I don't necessarily think that even though the boys that are these embodiments of the dark triad, psychologically speaking, can get all of these different kinds of women, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're good for them. Whereas on the flip side, you have all of the men that have what you might call daddy energy. And this daddy energy is actually a positive energy. It's a responsible and mature energy. And it is actually something that women do crave a lot of the time. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have status or money to have this kind of energy. If you just carry yourself a certain way and you have the proclivity to put yourself as your mental focal point of origin, there's going to be a load, you're going to have loads of truckloads of women that are going to be pining after you in one way, shape, or form or another. And the dark side of understanding this and being self-aware and being responsible and being on the verge of not necessarily husband material, but also you have a certain kind of sex appeal because you have, as a man, and this is something that a lot of men don't understand, is your sex appeal really just comes from being who you are and being comfortable with it and being able to walk away from that which is trying to manipulate you or trying to make you subservient. And most women are trying to do that nowadays. And so if you're able to walk away, all of a sudden you're more valuable in her eyes. And that's just the name of the game. I didn't make the rules. It's just the way that it is. And the dark side of this is that you're not going to attract all the time mentally well women. And any man that has been experienced with women in either talking stages or whatnot, I don't advocate for hookups or anything like that at all. But even as a godly man, the godly bad boy, let's say, if you're a godly bad boy, you're still going to get this kind of response from women. And all it takes is for you to be calm, cool, collected, focused on yourself, and putting yourself first. That's really it. And you're able to tell women things, not just ask for permission. That's one of the biggest things that women detest. They will not say that, but I even heard at the gym today there was a man being trained by a woman, and this man is relatively obese, and the woman that is the trainer is reasonably attractive, but I mean, I would never date a woman that's a physical trainer, because if that's her job, she's got guys going in and out all the time with her. She's going to be around guys all the time, and they're going to develop a relationship, friendship, whatever. It's just one of these days it's just not going to work out. And I don't really like the idea of my woman being around other men all the time. It's just not something that I like to see. And she doesn't need to be doing that kind of thing anyway. And it's not because I'm insecure about it. It's because anytime there's a situation where there is members of the opposite gender together for a sustained length of time, there's already this like building of rapport. And there might be some kind of subconscious fling down the line. She takes it a little too far, he takes it a little too far, etc. So I just wouldn't do that. And I don't recommend men to do that either. And so today at the gym, there was this guy, and he was telling her, "You're the boss, lady, you're the boss. You got to tell me what to do." And, she was all giddy and laughing, and she's like, "Yep, I'm going to torture you today, ha ha ha, because you're my favorite person to torture." And, the guy is just there blushing like a little girl, like just blushing away, and he has no clue what's in store for him down the line. And, what I've noticed is some of these, I didn't ever put this together until recently, but some of these men are going to the gym and getting these personal trainers from women just as a form of simping. Like, it is legitimately a form of simping. And it's hilarious to me because these men have no clue what's down the line for them. Meanwhile, these kinds of same women are there. A woman that thrives off of watching you struggle. And it's not just, okay, obviously this is a personal trainer, this is a different kind of environment, but still there's some kind of undertone of sexuality there, because you're telling somebody what to do with their body, okay? You're telling somebody what to do and how to do it with their body. If that's not subvertly or covertly sexual, I don't know what is, to some degree, especially when it's two members of different genders involved, or one member from different genders involved. So it's like there's this weird power balance that's always at play. There's this weird kind of this, not necessarily, I don't want to say that it's a tension per se, but it's also not necessarily something that is cohesive to a thriving environment in which both people are striving to better themselves for the sake of betterment itself. Because when I'm around men, that's a completely different story. And men that understand the way the game works, they can spot the man that gets all the women a mile away. He's usually the guy that's quiet in the corner, doesn't say much, doesn't talk much, because he wants to be down on the low for a reason. And men that know the game know this. Men that know how things are played understand this kind of a thing. And so I'll see certain kinds of women shooting me those kinds of glances because they think I'm that kind of guy. They think that I'm the guy that is just the low key, we'll just go get it down on the low. We can keep a secret kind of a thing. Because I've literally had women tell me this. And I think one of the other things that comes with the dark side of understanding women and being a man that women crave is that you see the callous, calculative actions that they partake in their lives, and the lengths that they are willing to go to keep that image of who they are, or rather the appearance, because I differentiate appearance and image. Appearance is a momentary an appearance is a momentary framework and picture of what somebody's life looks like and who they aspire to be, etc. Whereas the image is kind of this more peeling back the layer of the appearance and looking more at what's going on behind the persona and the ego, a little bit deeper into the shadow or into the anima or animus. For those that are not familiar with Carl Jung's psychological analysis and terminologies, there are four main parts of a person's psyche. There's the persona, there's the ego, there's the shadow, the anima and the animus, and then technically the fifth one is the totality of the entire psyche itself. Now, the anima or the animus is, depending on whether you're male or female, going to be different. So the anima is the totality of feminine experiences in a man's psyche, and the animus is the totality of masculine experiences within a woman's psyche. It's a function that you relate to subconsciously. That's the way Carl Jung described it, and I have been hitting a psychological and philosophical hammer at this for probably 5 years, and I have yet to see anything that is not correct about this kind of a analysis. So then you have the shadow, and we're kind of working backward here, so bear with me for a second. Then we have the shadow. So we have the very back of the psyche is the self, which encompasses everything. Then we have the anima or the animus, which is a function that you can relate to, and it can also be something that you can project onto other people. And this is one thing that if you are around, as a man, if you're around a woman that has projected her animus onto you, that can be a scary thing, because she's going to be stalking you. She's going to be doing all kinds of weird things and creepy things. Women are way more creepy than men. And any man that thinks otherwise has not experienced this kind of a thing. And I don't think that they would be deemed as a either godly bad boy or just a bad boy in general. I don't think they would understand this at all. And so it's not to say that you don't want to be husband material, by the way. I wanted to make that clear from the assertion that I made earlier. It's not that you don't want to be husband material, but it's almost as though being a husband material nowadays is an insult, and so you've got to be mindful of this. But anyway, we go back to the psychology. So now we have the anima and the animus, and the totality of feminine or masculine experiences in a man or woman's psyche. Then we have the shadow, which is also something that you can be projecting onto other people. If you're a female, you can project your shadow onto other females. If you're a male, you can project your shadow onto other males. In dreams, the shadow appears as the same gender usually. So that's something to keep in mind. Think about this. It's a dark part of you that you don't necessarily want to admit is there, but it is. And many people can confront their shadows, but to confront the anima or the animus at a subconscious level is kind of frightening, because what you're really doing is you're integrating the consciousness, or the not just the collective unconscious and the collective consciousness, but you're connecting your personal consciousness with your personal unconscious. And so that experience in of itself is a bit harrowing if you're not familiar with the dark parts of yourself. So that's the shadow. Then you have the ego. This is what I want, what I need, what I believe is true, what I want to see happen. These are things that make you have your own focus on yourself. And this is not necessarily a bad thing, but it can be. An ego can be a determining factor for your own downfall, because it can come with an unhealthy pride if you're not careful. This is one of the reasons why you need to confront the shadow and the anima and the animus within you. Either or for the anima or animus. You guys get the point here. Then you have your persona. This is what, you play nice with the world. That's your mask that you put onto the world. This is who you are, and this is what you're about. And the persona is really important, actually, because if you don't have a properly integrated persona, you're going to be stuck in not really knowing how to properly socialize. And I think that's a big danger also that comes with knowing the dark side of women. Is you get women sometimes that don't know how to socialize properly, and they'll be very hyper aggressive in their sexuality, and there's not going to be something much that you can do apart from just running, and running fast. So that's something to be mindful of as well. But overall, the most important aspect and takeaway that you can get from this is that the more attractive you become and the more you are craved as a man, you have to be more mindful of who you're vetting into your life and who you're allowing into your life, because a woman can be something on the outside and just as much as a man can as well. I want to make that clear, because I've seen, and I've said this before, covert narcissistic men are the most dangerous types of people on the planet. I genuinely believe that, and I've seen it happen. I've seen terrible things. I've done terrible business deals with people like that, and they will take you for everything that you are worth if you're not careful. Whereas women, they just want to see, like this girl that is training this guy at the gym, the personal trainer, she wants to just watch you suffer. like women just want to watch you suffer. And yes, they can be very, very, very crass in regard to the legal system, and they will take full advantage of the legal system. And I've seen this happen to a lot of men. And I know that because I know that women can be, how do I say this? There are more women that are evil in the world. However, the few men that are evil, the proportion of evilness is more drastic collectively on the women's side. So men can be more evil than women. Absolutely. I genuinely think that, because men are more logical and they are very strategic in how they want to make people. They're very sadomasochistic. You can think of it like that. But women, on the other hand, collectively, I would say they're doing more damage than even some of the men that are most evil. And it's because women can get away with it nowadays. Women have the legal system and they can get away with it. So you got to be very careful about this. And so it's like this, you guys. You just make sure that you are vetting properly these people that are coming into your life. And if you're a man watching this, the main takeaway, if you don't know what this is like, if you don't really know how to relate to this, the best takeaway that you can have then is to just stay aware and to make sure that you are orienting yourself properly so that you do not have any kind of even opening for somebody to take advantage of you to the lengths that some of these other men have been taking advantage of. So with all that being said, if you do want to join the Regal Change Academy, we have the free Discord available as well as the paid community. We do have in the paid community, you don't have to necessarily be a part of the Regal Change Academy at either or to participate, but we are doing a virtual meditation retreat. So this is going to be a good opportunity if you're, wanting to focus on a stress relief lifestyle. Maybe you're healing from a breakup or something, or you just want to get more close to who you are as a person and you want to be more self-aware. This is going to be a great opportunity for you. The virtual meditation retreat is accessible to anybody. You don't have to be in the Regal Change Academy, but it's going to be a great opportunity for you. We're going to have guided meditations throughout the day. This will be February 8th, so mark your calendars there for that. It'll be a really great opportunity for you. We also have in the free Discord community, there are some meditation guides, fitness guides, healing guides, etc. In the paid community, we're doing the Art of War class series right now. We have additionally more classes coming down the line, the pipeline. We have, as part of the membership, 2 weekly Bible study calls. They're more like Bible meditation sessions, I suppose, because we read some verses and then we meditate on it as a group and we discuss it and just kind of let the Holy Spirit guide us. Then we do 1 weekly Regal Assembly call where we talk about a variety of different topics and subjects. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. And those are in the links in the description box below. I do want to appreciate everybody tuning in to these videos and everybody that is moving from the YouTube platform over to X, Rumble, and Instagram. I appreciate your guys' extra support. And with all that being said, peace be with you all. Till next time.